I still remember the day it all started. We were sitting in a fancy cafe, my friends and I. We were surrounded by our usual luxuries, fine coffee, expensive watches, and our laughter over things that felt important, only because we had the comfort to think about them. Then she walked in. She was different. At least different from anyone I had seen in that cafe. She wore a simple dress, her hair was a little messy, and she didn't seem to notice the kind of place she had entered. She walked to the counter, ordered her coffee, and I found myself staring. There was something about her, something real, something genuine, different for sure. One of my friends noticed me looking. He laughed. "Ethan, think you can impress her?" he asked, teasing. I smiled, confident. Of course, money talks after all. I meant it as a joke, but deep down, I believed it too. Money always solved things for me. If I wanted something, I bought it. If I wanted someone's attention, I knew how to get it. Life was easy that way. And so it started, a simple bet. I told my friends I could make her interested in me, just like always. I walked over to her table, feeling sure of myself. "Hey, your name is Claire, right?" I had heard the barista call her name. She looked up at me, her eyes meeting mine for just a second before going back to her coffee. "Yes. Do we know each other?" she asked, her voice calm and uninterested. "No, but I'd like to change that," I said with a grin. "I'm Ethan. Maybe we could have dinner sometime?" She looked at me, confused. She shook her head. "No thanks," she said politely, and returned to her book. Just like that. I was shocked. People were usually at least interested. I went to her with all my confidence, but she treated me like I was nobody, like nothing I offered mattered. I was left standing there, not knowing what to say. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about her. It wasn't about the bet anymore. It felt personal. I wasn't used to failing, especially not with people. I needed to know why. Why didn't it work? The next time I saw her in that cafe, I came prepared, with a huge bouquet of flowers. I was sure it would make her smile. She looked at me, then at the flowers, but her expression did not change. "I don't need these," she said, gently pushing them back. She wasn't rude, but she was firm. "I think you're wasting your time, Ethan." Again, she showed no interest. It was like she could see right through me, as if she knew what I was doing and didn't care. It made me feel strange. A few days later, I tried again. This time, I invited her to one of the best restaurants in town. She laughed, but not the way I wanted. "Do you think that's what I want?" she asked, looking at me straight in the eyes. "I am not impressed by money, Ethan." I walked away that day, even more confused. Who was this girl who seemed so different? Why did nothing I did work? I needed to understand her. I started going to the places she went. One day, I saw her in an art gallery. She was standing in front of a painting, looking at it for what seemed like hours. She was lost in the colors, in the shapes. I watched from a distance, trying to understand what she saw. And then I understood. She valued things that I never cared about. Slowly, without even noticing, I started to change. It wasn't about the bet anymore. I wanted to understand her world, a world where money wasn't everything, where art or helping others had real value. One day, I heard she was volunteering at a charity event, helping to organize a meal for the homeless. I decided to show up, even though it was something I had never done before. When she saw me there, carrying boxes and helping set up tables, her face softened. But there was still doubt in her eyes. "What are you doing here, Ethan?" she asked. Her voice was less cold this time. I shrugged, trying to find the right words. "Maybe I wanted to see what it feels like to do something that isn't about me, something that matters." She paused, looking at me. Then she smiled, a real smile. "Maybe you're finally starting to understand," she said. That night, for the first time, I didn't care about the bet or what my friends would say. I talked with Claire for hours, not about cars or money, but about her, about art, about the things she loved, her dreams, and her travels. I listened, really listened, because I wanted to understand her. With time, I realized that I was changing. I started to see value in the things I had always ignored. I began to enjoy the quiet beauty of a painting, the warmth of a real smile, and the happiness that came from helping others without expecting anything back. But then, everything fell apart. It was just a regular afternoon. I was excited to see Claire later that day. My phone rang, and I saw it was Matt. I answered casually, not knowing what was about to happen. "Hey Ethan, I heard you've been spending a lot of time with Claire," Matt said, laughing a bit. "Guess the bet paid off, huh?" My heart dropped. Before I could say anything, I heard Claire's voice from behind me. She was standing there, her face pale, her eyes wide. "A bet?" she whispered, her voice shaking. She looked so hurt. "Is that what this was all about?" I ended the call quickly, my heart pounding. "Claire, wait, it's not like that," I said, taking a step towards her. But she moved away, shaking her head. Tears filled her eyes. She looked at me, and it hurt more than anything I had ever felt. "So this was all a game?" she said, her voice barely a whisper. "All this time, Ethan? I opened up to you. I trusted you, and it was just a bet." "No, Claire, please, yes. It was a bet at the beginning, but then it changed," I said, my voice breaking. "I didn't care about the bet anymore. I care about you, I still do." She wiped her tears, but the sadness in her eyes didn't go away. "How can I believe that, Ethan? How can I know what was real and what was not?" I wanted to reach out, to hold her, but I knew I couldn't. The distance between us felt too big now. She took a shaky breath, her voice breaking. "You hurt me, Ethan. You broke everything that could have been beautiful." She turned and walked away, her steps slow, like she was carrying the weight of everything I had broken. I stood there, feeling helpless. I wanted to call her name, to fix everything, but I knew it was too late. The damage was done. That night, I sat alone, and the truth of what I had lost hit me like a storm. Claire was gone because of my own mistake. I thought life was about winning, about proving myself. But I realized too late that the most important thing, the trust and love of another person, was something I could never buy or win. I had lost the bet, but more importantly, I had lost Claire. And with her, I had lost the best part of myself. And that's how I lost Claire. It taught me that some things can't be bought or fixed with confidence or money. Real value lies in trust and love. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think there's anything I can do to win Claire back? See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.